Tidi got her marks in matric and she made it to university.
Yes.
Now take us through that experience. I know that you're graduating. Coming to that graduation moment was not an easy journey.
I actually have a different story because I am not graduating with what I started with, the program. So I'll take you through that. Always interested in entrepreneurship, being the business and understanding that. And so I ended up starting with business science, specializing in computer science. And I was going along, but as I went along, I felt like I was really enjoying my business subjects a lot more. And my heart for computer science, it wasn't really there as the years progressed. I felt like I was just doing it to get by. But sometimes you can see the passion in other people's faces when they're coding or they have these projects. And I knew I didn't feel that way, but it's just like, you know what, I'm here. I need to just see this through.
Let's talk about also that feeling, man, of seeing your classmates really passionate about what they're studying. Like, what does that do to you?
I couldn't force it. And it definitely came with imposter syndrome because number one, because I don't enjoy it, I'm not putting in as much effort into it. Because I'm not putting in as much effort into it, I'm not seeing the results. But then it's like a continuous cycle. Like, this is hard. I don't want to be here. Other people are more passionate. I'm not getting it. I don't even feel like doing this. It's just that cycle. And I really had to fight, the mindset of throwing in the towel. I really had to just say that, even though I'm not as passionate about this, I'm going to try to enjoy it.
What is success to Tidi? And when do you see that you've actually succeeded in something?
So what success means to me.
Hello. My name is Abongi Dengoya and welcome to actually the final episode of this series called Cheers to Failure. And today I'm not alone, of course. I have Tidi Malo. Tidi Malo, can you please pronounce your surname actually? Mokhatle.
Yes, Mokhatle. That's correct.
When I first met you, I thought you were American. Up until I heard your surname, I was like, that's not American. It's because of your accent.
A lot of people say that. Yeah. I've heard like I'm British or Jamaica, something, but not South Africa. But I understand.
I was like, oh, girl, I love how you speak. I love how confident you are when you speak. Are you good though?
Thank you. I'm doing very well. I'm very happy to be here. Yes.
Are you excited?
I am very excited. I always sometimes watch these podcasts and the fact that I'm in one today is very cool. Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, man, I'm really excited. I'm really thankful that you're here, especially to talk about something that we usually shy away from. We want to portray this other side of us, the successful side. We don't want to portray the one that is, not so good side. But today we are going to talk about that. So I always ask this question to my guests. Why did you agree to come to a podcast, talk about failure, especially on a podcast, and just talk about something that majority of people want to shy away from? Yeah.
Definitely. I always believe in stepping out of your comfort zone. And especially in my own life, I always try to present this, perfect, doing things. And I know a lot of people might perceive me that way, that, oh, her life is always together. She's always smiling. She's always happy. But in taking this opportunity, it helps me to be vulnerable and to actually share with others that we all have challenges, and to also challenge myself to also like shed light on the things that I have experienced and hopefully inspire other people to do the same, to keep going no matter what. Yeah.
And I do agree. I think you coming in here, because one thing about Tidi, guys, you need to know that her LinkedIn looks super crispy. It looks so delicious. She's just like, oh, I wish. And with you coming in here to share the other side of like, no, guys, not everything is always perfect. It's actually going to inspire somebody that when they look at somebody really successful, that it's not always that successful or stuff like that.
Not at all.
Yeah. So thank you for really coming in here.
Thank you.
Okay, so the first question, of course, is what is failure to Tidi now? And then we're also going to explore what did failure mean to you growing up and stuff like that. So maybe let's start there. What did failure mean to you growing up? And then what does failure mean to you now?
Yeah, definitely. So I'll start with growing up. And to me, failure growing up was whenever I didn't necessarily meet the standards that other people set for me. So, for instance, I was always known as the girl who got high marks, distinctions. And let's say one time I wouldn't get an 80 on a test. And now I'm more concerned about what my mother's going to say, what other people are going to say. And that was like just a failure for me. I didn't meet up to that standard. Or whenever like I needed to, just be a certain way, just any way. I know my family is very strict about health and weight. And so whenever maybe I would like gain a little bit of weight, it was always like my uncle or my mom would be on me. And that's like a failure. Like you failed to take care of yourself, you dropped the ball. So it's just small things like that. And I'd always just define failure by the expectations other people set of me. And it was never like, but what does it truly mean for me, and it's knowing that it's not the end of the world, because I used to feel like, oh no, like now it's over, like now my worth has decreased just because I couldn't meet the standard. But actually just realizing now, like life moves on and you're fine and you get back up and you try again. Yeah.
So what does failure now mean?
Yes. So to me, failure now, it's a bit hard for me to define, but I feel like I have failed when I have let myself down. So if I said I'm going to do something, or if this is a task I set for myself and I didn't complete it, now it's different because I define that as like, okay, I wasn't living up to what I said I would do. Yeah.
So it's not living up to your standards now, not other people's.
Yes, it's not other people anymore, as like when I was younger, like the weight of what they would say about me or like have for me was always supreme. But now it's like my own, like for me, this is my life, this is me setting. Because sometimes it's like just even in the small things and I'm like, okay, but when I do let myself down, like maybe not showing up or not really committing to something the way I said I'd commit to it, then that does feel like a failure for me now.
Yeah, and I want us to explore, just to go back a little bit on what was failure to you growing up. I want you to just give us one memory that you remember when you were growing up that still today just like, that was a really tough moment.
And there's always that one. The fact that it came to my head right now. Definitely. Yes, matric. Matric is a very stressful year. We're trying to make it into uni and everything. And we had this math test. And it was the beginning of the year. And I remember that math test, I got like 42% for it. That was the first time I had ever seen such a low mark. That was the first time I've ever failed, like academically. And I remember even writing that test, it was almost like I got a mind block in the test. Like just things were not coming. I couldn't make sense. And before I knew it, the time was up. I had to hand in. I left so many questions blank. But I couldn't believe this was happening. It's like, what's going on? My future's over. Even like telling my mom, she couldn't believe it. Like she couldn't believe it. Her daughter who got A's is getting 40s. Like she was also starting to straight, which also put pressure on me. I remember even this one teacher that I was very close with, I went to her, I was crying. It was very hard for me to deal with. And that's just so distinct because I feel like it was important for me to experience that, to prove to myself that I can get back up and I can recover. And I think coming into university, obviously along the way, there are some hiccups, there are some failed tests, but it always helps to reassure me that, you know what, I've been here before. Let me just go back to the drawing board. Obviously, allow yourself to feel the disappointment, cry if you need to. But it taught me that resilience of get up and, you can try again and still achieve your goals. I mean, I still made it into university. I was still able to recover. So that test, it wasn't the end of the world, but it felt like it was in that moment. It felt like the world was ending.
I can imagine. I
know. I wish I could go back and tell her, like, it's okay. But I felt like the world was ending.
And especially in matric, I think that doubled the anxiety. Just like, oh my god, my life is over. I won't go to university, things like that. Yeah. Yeah. And you mentioned how your family is like, strict in academics and in health. Are you coming from a family of top achievers and stuff like that? Or
yeah, definitely. Like my grandma was a teacher, and then all of like my uncle's aunt, she always forced them education. I know my mom told me a story. My uncle, which was their uncle, he got graduated. I think he was one of the first. And my grandma put up a picture inside of the house, and she was like, all of you guys, like, this is the standard. You must go to university, So education is very important. And, everybody else, they do have degrees. They have like good careers. So definitely it was important for me to also live up to that. Yes.
Yeah. So Tidi got her marks in matric and she made it to university.
Yes.
Now take us through that experience. Is what you're studying now exactly what you actually applied for? And also just take us through the whole experience of I know that you're graduating.
Yes, I am. Yay.
I saw actually your invite on
yes, I put on my WhatsApp status.
On your WhatsApp status. Yes. And congratulations.
Thank you.
I know that coming to that graduation moment is not was not an easy journey. So okay, let's take us from first year, coming to your graduation. Like take us all the experience. How was it?
Yeah, I actually have a different story because I am not graduating with what I started with, the program. So I'll take you through that. But I'll start with matric. So the subjects that I took, it was IT, physics, math, but I really enjoyed IT. And that's what made me be drawn to computer science. But I was always interested in entrepreneurship, being the business and understanding that. And so I ended up starting with business science, specializing in computer science, which is a 4-year program at UCT. And I was going along. But as I went along, I felt like I was really enjoying my business subjects a lot more. And then I got into like management consulting, case competitions, the consulting club, everything. And my heart for computer science, it wasn't really there as the years progressed. I felt like I was just doing it to get by. But sometimes you can see the passion in other people's faces when they're coding or they have these projects. And I knew I didn't feel that way, but it's just like, you know what, I'm here. I need to just see this through. Coming all the way to third year, last semester was definitely one of the most challenging for me here at UCT. The 3000 course, it was wow. It was every day was
Everything
a battle.
was something new.
Every day was a battle. But then I remember at the end of the exam, I just knew I couldn't do this anymore. And I had come to final year. A lot of people in the class were graduating. And this is what made me inquire, you know what, I've come to the end of final year. Can I graduate? I don't want to do the honors in computer science. And I was able to arrange that. I was able to graduate with a BSc in computer science because it's also offered in the science faculty, thank goodness. And I met all the credits and everything. But the challenge came about like, what am I going to do next? And I want to do something that truly aligns with me. And so I found a course that I met some prerequisites for. It's called Economic Analysis of Financial Markets. And I felt that really aligned to me and my business and enjoyment for that. Unfortunately, I didn't meet the application deadline. So currently I'm an occasional student doing a prerequisite course, financial management, and then I can start in June. So definitely it does cost me 6 months, but I'm like, in the bigger scheme of things, it's so worth it. I'm so happy I made that decision and I'm way happier now.
Yeah, and let's talk about also that feeling, man, of seeing your classmates really passionate about what they're studying. Like, what does that do to you when you are not feeling that way? Because I know for myself, And do you force yourself to have that passion? Like, what's happening in your brain? How are you feeling about it?
I couldn't force it. And it definitely came with imposter syndrome because number one, because I don't enjoy it, I'm not putting in as much effort into it. Because I'm not putting in as much effort into it, I'm not seeing the results. But then it's like a continuous cycle. Like, this is hard. I don't want to be here. Other people are more passionate. I'm not getting it. I don't even feel like doing this. It's just that cycle. And I really had to fight, the mindset of throwing in the towel. I really had to just say that, you know what, even though I'm not as passionate about this, I'm going to try to enjoy it. I'm going to try to show up. I'm going to do what I need to do because it's important. I can't just walk away and not get a degree and drop out. But I'm at least going to try. And that meant, you know, building a community of like people in computer science, just checking in with them, doing the assignments or whatever with them, just really trying the study groups. My best friend Kamo was also in computer science. We would study together. We'd talk about it, draw on the board, make it enjoyable, just find. And I think it's important just to have some tactics to help you get along.
To get through it.
So that, yeah.
You know, I always tell people that for me, guys, and I'm just going to be honest, for me, marks are not my highest motivation. Can I explain? Also with money also. Money is not my biggest motivation and marks is not my biggest motivation. Let me explain what I mean.
Please.
Like, I meant like, even if I can get 70%, when I'm not passionate about something, I'm just not, like, I'm not passionate. Like, I know some people say, no, study for the marks. You need the marks. But I'm just like, I don't like what I'm doing. And I'm not motivated by that 70% of my transcript, even with finances or money. Even if you can pay me R1 billion
to do something you hate.
I can't. I cannot, because I am a person of impact. Like, I have to make an impact in something that I do. So when you say that you just have to push through, to me, when some people say that, I was just like, don't. But at the same time, I understand at the end of the day, we have to graduate with something. Yeah. I want to also understand how, you also mentioned your friends. How did you consult with your friends about what you were thinking about, like changing into BSc, not BBasci, and how did they react? Like, I'm just trying, also your family, how did they react? Yeah. And how did they think maybe with giving up? Oh yeah, things like that. I just want to understand.
Definitely. So definitely I felt like this was a decision. I'm very bold in my faith with the Lord, and I obviously always just pray about things like this. And I definitely felt on my heart, you know, when you get a strong conviction to do something, and I was just like, this is the way, like, Lord, you've brought me this far. Thank you for bringing me to the end of final year, but I know it's my time to leave because, we both know this is not where I am supposed to be. We both know. And I actually took the decision without consulting anyone. Like, I was bold enough to do it. I told people later, like, I told my mom, this is what's doing. I'm not continuing with computer science. My mom's very understanding. Because I would tell her the whole process, and she was actually happy. She was like, I could see it was like killing you. Like, she was happy. I know maybe telling like other family members was the challenging part, especially because it's like, now, why are you graduating so soon? You were supposed to finish the BBasci. What's going on? What are you going to do next? You're going to lose your funding. Are you even going to be able to go back to university? Like, all of those questions. And that did kind of give me a little bit of like anxiety. But I always just held on to, Lord, I know you said, you gave me the green light and I'm going. And even in the beginning of the year, it was tough. Like, they rebuked my res offer. I wasn't getting the registration that I needed because these like the admin and staff, they weren't understanding what it means to be an occasional student. I need to get approval from departments to take the course, even though I'm not enrolled in an official course. And obviously the challenges that my family members were expressing, I was facing them. And in that moment, it was still holding on to say, but I'm doing this. I'm here. There's no going back. I'm here. And it all works out. You know, there's always going to be trials and tribulations along the way, but it worked out, and I'm happy to be here today still. I didn't want to go to another university. I was still very set on continuing with the consulting club. I didn't want to leave that behind. So it was important for me to come back.
Wow, you said something so powerful. You said the challenges that your family expressed were now a reality.
It was a reality, and I knew I might face that, but I really had to hold on, and like that faith, like that was, I had to lean on faith, because yes, there was a possibility my scholarship would say, no, we're not funding you anymore because now you're graduating, and what is it to be an occasional student? On top of that, my registration wasn't getting approved. It took a really long time. On top of that, I didn't have res. You know, I told you about that. I was living with a friend. Like, a lot was going on, and those were the challenges. And but I was like, I can't go back.
Those were the challenges.
I can't go back, but I can't go back.
You were set on your
set.
conviction.
Yes.
And in your trust in the Lord also, which is really admirable. Yeah, you also mentioned the consulting club.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about that. Actually, I would like for you to tell us like the leadership roles that you have like done, and then we want to focus also on the consulting club, just to tell us what does failure mean as a president of the consulting club.
Okay.
Yeah.
In terms of leadership roles, are we looking particularly university?
Yes.
Okay.
Just university, and just share maybe one or two failures there.
Yeah.
But I want us to focus a lot on consulting club, or actually any leadership role that you have experienced failure there. Yeah.
I'm definitely someone who likes to take up initiatives and, to steer it forward. And from first year, I remember I started like a fitness business, doing fitness classes at my res, and people were paying.
You lie.
Yes, I did that. I'll show you the videos and stuff later.
I'll put it here. Do you mind if we put it here?
Yes, we'll put it there. I'll put it up for you. We did the Barbie boot camp at the Resident where we were in all pink, and I was leading the class. We had smoothies, very fun. And then what else did I do? Then I had this one business idea to start like a healthy food delivery on campus that did not work out. And then what else? And then I took up a leadership role as the entrepreneurship director of APSIP. So that was my first official leadership role in university, and it taught me a lot. And then the second leadership role I took up was being president of the consulting club. But small things along the way, like being class rep, being a connect leader at church, those were all small things. I definitely feels like it builds up to the bigger character of how to be a leader. And then now, as a president of the consulting club, failure to me, sometimes like it comes up like just a little bit in bits and jabs, and it's like when I see team members struggling or like resignations, and I feel like what could I have done better to support them or just keep the team morale up. Or I remember even when we didn't have a lot of members, it's like, oh, I thought the plans that we had were working, why is our membership so low? But then in terms of navigating these failures, obviously, I wouldn't say I take them as like hard failures, but a lot as we are learning as we are going. I'm learning how to be a better leader as I'm going. And I'm so thankful my team does give me grace, and I always try my best to show up for them. Or even if something's not working out, like an event is postponed or it was cancelled, that even with that failed event, we make a way, we reschedule. I make sure, what can we do better? I remember with the CV workshop, what can we do better? How can I make sure that this time it is a success? And it's just learning and picking up. Or even if people resign, okay, let's recruit new people. But how do I make sure that this time everybody feels supported and we have like a good structure moving forward? Or even in the memberships when they're low, how do I make sure that maybe we're increasing innovative ideas, bringing everybody along, really like implementing that. And I feel like it's like failing forward. Even though you're failing, you're still improving. It's like an upward trajectory failing because forward. You're learning and you're going. So that really what it's been, and I've really enjoyed the journey, even if it's in its like tough times, but it's been good.
It is tough, but then like what you said, failing forward. Like I think failing forward, guys. Like do not be stuck on the failure, and I love how you're so okay, that happened. Okay,
it's so nice when it happens because you're like, damn.
No, I understand, because just like what? Oh, trust me, I know, and that feeling is like, why? And you can't scream because we're gonna be like, what's going on? If you are screaming, then what about us?
Definitely.
So we've discussed failures, but I actually, doing this podcast or this series, I understood that asking a lot of questions, and of course it is a series about failures, but then I was asked a question about what does success mean to me. What is success to Tidi, and when do you see that you've actually succeeded in something? Because one thing, and I'm so sorry to speak over you.
No, I wasn't looking. You can go ahead.
I'm going to make a conclusion with this series.
Yes.
And literally I've been meditating on this series the whole time. And I've come to realize that failure is not the opposite of success. like, and I'm still gonna explain further, but or success is not the opposite of failure, vice versa. So I want to understand what is failure to what is success to Tidi.
Yeah, you're very right. Because I once watched a YouTube video and they said two things can be true at the same time. You can fail and be successful at the same time, and it's not one or the other. And I think we just saw that term failing forward. Even in the midst of you failing, you're still moving forward. You're still achieving success. You know, you're still having the impact that you wanted to have, even though it didn't work out the first time, but you learned and you could even improve and be better at that. So that's an example of it, like coexisting at the same time. Or even with me, I felt like I failed when I couldn't complete my degree, but I failed in the sense I couldn't complete the BBasai, but I'm still graduating and moving forward at the same time, being able to pursue something that is more aligned to me, even though that part didn't work out. So it's just like not seeing it in a negative light, because sometimes it just opens up doors to better and having more of a positive like mindset around defining failure. Or even that failed test in matric, it built that resilience in my character to be able to handle the other failures that were ahead of me, but I knew I could still stand up and keep going. You know, it taught me that. So it's very important. Yes.
But you haven't defined. So
I haven't defined success. Okay, so what success means to me right now, success to me, it means when I can look back and I can almost just see those, I call them milestones, but you know, sometimes when you stay consistent at something and eventually you're able to achieve the goal that you had or achieve the impact that you wanted, and you can look back and say, but I stayed the course. And yes, it wasn't perfect, or maybe you didn't achieve the goal how you would have liked to, but you still got there. That's what success feels like to me. And definitely moving it away from having like a specific, like maybe a specific mark, or having that specific job, or having this amount of money. But then it's almost in the small things. For example, if I remember I always like would beat myself up about not like managing my money well. But then the fact that I was able to like start this account a few years ago and I set up the debit order, it just always goes through. But the fact that I was able to stay consistent, never cancel it, and just let that grow, that feels like a success to me, even in the midst of maybe not having like the best spending habits and always going broke towards the end of the month. But I can look at that and say, I stayed consistent and I stuck to my word, and you know, I build, and it can be seen in a lot of different things. I definitely see it as a reflection of consistently showing up and going at it. That's what I define success is. And you must define the impact you want to create or whatever you're trying to achieve for your life. Yes, and see that come.
I love it. I love that definition. Staying consistent to what you have said you will do. Yeah. And you're very consistent. Let's talk about your gym. Like, this girl, guys, such a fitness bad.
Thank you.
I don't want to say bad. You're such a fitness goodie. I don't want to do that.
I don't mind. But I know sometimes it has a negative connotation, but I just use it for fun. Like, I call myself a LinkedIn baddie. Like,
and you are influencer. So they're even there. Have you? Because let's be honest, even I love fitness and I always post. And I'm always posting the high.
Hey, I see. Like, girl, you are. So I'm like, this girl's running every day. Tidi, you can't even get up and do a jog. Come on.
But that's what I'm posting. You know, I'm posting the days that I woke up. And it seems like, okay, there was a time where I was running literally every day. But then there are days where I'm just like, I can't get up, you know. So tell us also, how do you consistently show up in your gym, like after you have dropped the ball at some point?
Yeah, and definitely I would say the journey of gym and health is it teaches you a lot, hey, because yes, it's easy to post when you're consistent, but there's always like the dips, the highs, the lows, like you're not consistent one week, or sometimes life happens. Sometimes it's a tough academic time and you really were just like giving it your all, and the energy that you have, you want to use it to sleep. You know, sometimes you have a lot of commitments and things get in the way. However, one thing I always promised myself is that I will never stop going at it. So even if last week I wasn't able to make the gym
Come
at
on.
all, or I
Yeah.
only did once a week, I'm still going to show up the next week. It's not an all or nothing mindset, because that's sometimes we're like, it's either I'm like doing 3 times a day, I'm always eating healthy, or I'm doing like nothing at all. But then when I try to teach myself this mindset, even if today I just took a walk, even if today I just did a little bit of treadmill and a little bit of strength, it's in the habit. It's in the habit. And in the longer term, it's the habit that sticks and not the sparks of motivation, you know, or like the body goals or whatever. And I think it's very important, even in the fitness journey, not only focusing on maybe like the result. Of course, we all want that little nice body gym, six-pack, everything. But then to focus on the deeper things, like this is teaching me discipline. This is showing me how strong I can be. This is giving me energy. This is me showing up and taking care of myself, like stewarding the temple. I always remind myself that way. This is part of my worship. It's not just something that is in my own pursuit, you know, to like look good. So that's very important. And just showing up, Yeah.
You know, one thing that I've realized while you're talking, I realized that really the reason why we're beating ourselves up when we drop the ball is because of how much it's not normalized to drop the ball or something, man. It's like even with these fitness people, like myself also, we don't normalize like those bad days and be like, guys, I can't wake up. I can't.
Yes.
You know, we always showing that, no, you need to be consistent. You need to wake up at 4 a.m. You need to eat healthy. You're eating chips? What is that?
Yeah. I don't eat, yes. And those things could actually be very toxic because like you're saying, online, we only post the highs. So even your favorite fitness influencers, I follow one, every day she's at the gym. I'm like, girl, how are you doing that?
Yeah.
And, you know, you don't know what goes on behind the scenes or whatever. Like, for all you know, they could have shot content on one day and changed outfits. And you thinking that they're like there every day. You don't know what goes on behind the scenes. And I think it's always just important to like acknowledge the reality of it. And like go with yourself, go with your own progress, your own journey, and whatever that looks like for you in the moment. Yeah.
And I also loved what you said of staying in the course, like for real. Like, we focused a lot on results, but actually what sticks, when you define that success is you staying in the course and be like, no, I actually finished. Like, yes, the journey was not perfect. I might have 4-10 times, but I actually finished.
You did it.
Oh,
you did it. Yeah. Yes. And that's why I really love running races. Unfortunately, like I can't run because, you know, I have like hip inflammation, which is also like a lot for me to just like process and like stop running for a while. Yeah. I feel like I will go back, but it will be shorter distances, no more the marathons or anything. So even my half marathon, I can't run it, but it's okay. Yeah. But that's why I really love races, because you can train for something and you can see yourself cross the finish line. And you can say all those sessions I put in, like, I can stay the course and run all the way to the end. And even those races, it's a lot of perseverance because you get tired and everything, but it teaches you I can stay the course. So stay the course forever, just forever. And fitness is not a 21-day challenge and it's over. It's a lifestyle. I want to be Connie Ferguson, who even when I'm 50, I'm exercising.
Yes, I always tell myself, this is a lifestyle. It's a lifestyle. It's like
forever.
It's like breathing.
Yes.
It's second nature to you now. Yeah, man. Yes, Tidi. Honestly, I have no questions anymore. Thank you so much for coming.
I have a question for you.
Oh, yes.
Can I ask?
Yes.
I would like to know, what was your reason behind starting this podcast? So what does the pursuit of wisdom mean? And also this series, why did you feel like it was important to talk about it with the guests that you had?
Wow, thank you so much for that questions. So let's start with the pursuit of wisdom. So like, I'm coming from another channel that I had where I was just talking a lot about computer science, you know, but I soon realized that, you know, man, I am a person of so many interests. Like, I would love to talk about a lot of things that I'm pursuing, the wisdom that I'm pursuing. It is a Christian channel. Like, we're here to talk about God and honoring God and worshiping God. And I'm trying to pursue wisdom in knowing God. Yes, I'm trying to pursue knowing God.
Yeah.
And I don't want to do it on my own. I want to tag along a lot other people to just come, guys. Let's understand this God. Let's understand how He works, who He is. And this is just a series of the podcast. We're still going to talk a lot about God. Then now, why did I start this series of Cheers to Failure? It really happened last year. Similar to you, I walked into the computer science class and I just had my heart just fell to my stomach. That's how I can even say that, oh my God, why am I here? I just like, why am I here? I'm not supposed to be here. I'm supposed to be at my job. I'm supposed to
get a job.
No.
You feel like you're supposed to be working.
I'm supposed to be working now. I'm supposed to be chasing my career. Why am I here? These people are younger than me. God, why am I here? Things like that. And it also visited me again this year, that feeling. And I was like, no, then obviously, like you, I'm very rooted in my faith. And I went home and I just prayed about it. And honestly, I was just reminded of the successes that I've gotten because of this failure that I had. Like everything, Tidi, the person that I am today, literally the wisdom that I have today, it's all as a result of that one failure of my life. And that whole period, it really taught me who number one God is, because that's where I got saved, number one. And also how to treat people, how to treat myself, how to look at life. So that's where I started the Cheers to Failure. And I was like, actually, cheers to that failure.
To that.
I am this person
Cheers
today
to
because of that.
Yes.
And wow. Thanks.
You know the song, in the crushing,
yes,
in the pressing, you're making new wine. And it's like, it's the new wine that comes from like the pressing and the crushing and everything. But I'm so happy to hear.
Actually, that's such a good that's a good reference. Yes, that's where wine, in the crushing, in the pressing, making new wine out of me.
Yes.
And also, that scripture, I quoted it in my last video, that says that diamonds, in order for them to be produced, or gold, it needs to go through the fire, pressure, refined.
Yes, consuming fire. Like we need that, but we don't like it. But that's what actually helps you to level up. But we sometimes run away from it, and we like to be comfortable. Everything must just be florry dolly, happy. No,
and nobody grows from comfort. Let's be honest. We grow from discomfort. When you push yourself to the limit, or when you push the limit, that's when you grow.
Definitely.
No, those were good questions, and thank you so much for asking me. Now I can finally say why I started this series. Yes, Tidi, is there anything else you want to?
I think from my side, thank you so much for having. I really enjoyed it. Yes,
I'm so happy.
I like talking. I like a good
and you
gap
talk
session.
well.
Thank
you so much. I really learned a lot. I'm gonna edit this video, but I'm gonna listen. I'm just like, wow, this girl has wisdom.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you so much, Thank you. And I hope you guys really enjoyed this episode, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye.